Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean. I didn't want to have to make this video, but unfortunately it's going to have to be done. I can't sit back any longer and just see this blatant injustice unfold without voicing my opposition to it. I think at this point the evidence is absolutely irrefutable that Deontay Wilder was cheated out of his WBC title by a number of people, Tyson Fury obviously being one of them, but obviously that includes the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the California Athletic Commission, Freddie Roach, Ricky Hatton, the Kronk Gym, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, the World Health Organization. I mean, there's so many, I don't really want to get too far into it, but I've been researching it and there's a lot of people involved. So yeah, as I say, at this point, like, that is irrefutable, the evidence. Deontay Wilder was drugged before it by a snake in his camp. Tyson Fury also entered the ring with metal in his gloves. That this is factual. I saw this on, I saw the video, like someone put up from Blue Blood Sports TV, and that's enough evidence for me. As far as I'm concerned, that is factual. It's not up for debate. So everyone knows, we can all accept that. However, there's one thing that people aren't really talking about, which I wanted to mention in this video, is that Deontay Wilder was attacked before the fight, before both fights, severely, which obviously had a big impact on both of them. Now, when Tyson Fury fought Pianeta, you remember that? Deontay Wilder was invited out to that event. Where did that take place? Belfast. Now, what's one of the things that Belfast is notorious for? Kneecappings. So, what do you think Deontay Wilder was brought out to Belfast for? I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work it out, does it? It's so obvious at this point. He was lured out there by, as I say, a load of powerful people. Frank Warren was obviously involved, Bob Arum, Al Heyman, Oscar de la Hoya, Eddie Hearn got involved. A number of people were involved. He was lured out there for the purposes of the IRA, that's the Irish Republican Army, for those who don't know what that is, to identify him, you know, kind of size him up, look at his dimensions, work out a few of his habits, just to get that intelligence on him to kneecap him later on. And that happened obviously before the first fight. Just before Wilder was due to walk to the ring, there was a diversion. I think Ben Davidson and Shane Fury were doing like a kind of dance off at the door or something. I don't know exactly what it was. But yeah, while that was happening, 4 members of the IRA came in and kneecapped Deontay Wilder, shot him in both knees a number of times. Now, obviously, this did damage to him, but they underestimated just how much of a king he was. So he went into that ring. Although having been severely injured by that, it was still, it wasn't enough to stop him from dominating that fight, really. I mean, the judges, obviously part of the conspiracy against him, gave Fury a gift draw, but Wilder still, in the eyes of at least everyone I've spoken to, thoroughly dominated that fight. So obviously when it comes to the rematch, they realised that we need to step up our game here. We've got the right idea, but we did underestimate him. So what they did, they did the same thing, but also this time they brought in some loyalist paramilitaries as well. I'm not sure which, I haven't really got. They haven't actually been identified as to which group they were from, but they were loyalist paramilitaries as well. So they went out there and basically they double kneecapped him. So you can see the difference going into the second fight. That gave Tyson Fury obviously that edge, along with the other stuff of him being drugged by a snake, having the metal in his gloves. And also, now this isn't a fact, I can't say this one is a fact, but I've watched it a few times and it definitely looks to me like the referee is like releasing gas out of his sleeves at Deontay Wilder. There's a couple of points in that fight where the referee comes in, he sort of tells Fury to get back and he gestures him, like winks at him. Fury then makes a gesture as if like, oh, okay, I get you. Takes a little step back and then you can see this gas coming out from the sleeve, which goes into Wilder's face, and you can see from his reaction there, there's a couple of times, he did it, I caught it at least 3 times. Now, not to say it didn't happen more, but every time Wilder was starting to get on top, the referee would come in and do that. Obviously, there's videos where you can see like the Kronk Gym people, you've got Sugar Hill just sort of pumping steroids into Fury, like between rounds. Andre Durrell was doing it as well into the shoulder. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, then you've got the, you can see in the front row, there's a load of like shape-shifting reptilian overlords there, and they're like mind controlling people and doing all this kind of stuff. Mind controlled Mark Breland, like to throw the towel, and there's loads of stuff. So it wasn't just one thing, but I just wanted to highlight the kneecapping because I hadn't seen anyone else talking about it. Obviously, the other that's been exposed. The other stuff about the drugs and the metal, that is, everyone accepts that as just fact. But I wanted to introduce this one as well. So, what I'd like to see now, what I think we have to see now, is Tyson Fury needs to do the decent thing. He needs to give Deontay Wilder the belt back. I think he should retire from boxing. I think this is it's not, this kind of behaviour is just disgraceful. You can't have it. So I think they should give the belt back to Deontay Wilder, take the L off the record. I think they should put about 10 more KO victories on there as well, just to compensate him for the ordeal that he's been through. And possibly as well, I think from now on for like future title defences, I don't think people should be allowed to punch Wilder. Maybe like you can, like a little jab to the shoulder, or they can choose some designated spot to hit him where it's not going to do that much damage. I'm sure they can put some kind of instrument on him that measures the force of the punches. You can't punch using a certain force. Just little light, just stuff. That's what I would like to see, because otherwise there's a danger of Deontay Wilder losing a fight, and I don't think any of us want to see that. I think that they should just go in there and he should be allowed to punch them, but it shouldn't be reciprocated. So I think after all that's happened, I think that is the only really fair way to go. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you think. I mean, obviously anyone, now you've heard this evidence, there's no one that's going to disagree with this. Fury just needs to do the right thing now, or the WBC do as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.